The Epic of Gilgamesh, a story as old as history. In an age when the line between gods and men was still blurred, there stood a city between two great rivers, Uruk. Its walls reached toward the heavens, and its people lived beneath the shadow of both greatness and fear. Their king was no ordinary man. His name was Gilgamesh, 2/3 divine, 1/3 mortal. Strong, beautiful, and merciless, he built temples and towering walls, but only for his own glory. The people cried out, "Our king is without compassion, he is not one of us." The gods heard them and decided to balance his power not with punishment, but with a mirror. From clay and water, they shaped a being, Enkidu. A man of the wild, covered in hair, running with the beasts, knowing nothing of cities or speech. He was nature itself, free, fierce, untamed. Until one day a woman saw him, Shamhat, a priestess of Uruk. Through her gentleness and humanity, Enkidu was awakened. For 7 days and nights they stayed together, and when it was over, the animals fled from him. He was no longer one of them. He had become human. Enkidu walked to the city to face the mighty king. When Gilgamesh came to claim a bride by force, Enkidu blocked his way. Two powers collided. The earth shook, the walls trembled, and neither could defeat the other. Then suddenly, Gilgamesh laughed, a deep, honest laugh. He reached out his hand and said, "Brother." And from rivalry, friendship was born. Two restless souls had finally found their reflection. But peace was never enough for Gilgamesh. He said, "Let us do something that will make our names live forever." And so the brothers set out for the cedar forest, home of Humbaba, the guardian monster set there by the gods. Enkidu warned him, "This is a road that ends in death." Gilgamesh replied, "Better to die in glory than live in fear." They marched for days beneath the towering trees until they met Humbaba, eyes blazing, voice like thunder. The battle raged, mountains quaked. The sun god Shamash sent the winds to aid them. At last Humbaba fell to his knees, begging for mercy. But Enkidu said, "If we spare him, the gods will destroy us." And together they struck him down. The ground fell silent. The first sin had been committed. When they returned to Uruk, the city rejoiced. Their fame spread across the lands. And from the heavens, the goddess Ishtar watched them. She descended, radiant and terrible, and said to Gilgamesh, "Be my husband, share my throne, and I will make you king of heaven." But Gilgamesh mocked her. "You offer love, but bring ruin. All your lovers you have cursed, I will not be next." Ishtar's rage shook the sky. She ran to her father Anu and screamed, "Send down the bull of heaven to destroy him." The bull came roaring from the clouds, tearing the earth open. Thousands died. But side by side, Gilgamesh and Enkidu slew the bull. It was their final victory together. The gods gathered in fury. One of the two must die, they said. And fate chose Enkidu. He fell ill, cursed and fadding. In his final breath he said, "Brother, I dreamed of the underworld. There, kings serve as slaves, and dust is our only food." Gilgamesh wept, powerless. No prayer, no strength could fight death. When Enkidu died, something in Gilgamesh died too. He tore off his royal robes, wandered the wilderness, and whispered to himself, "If Enkidu can die, then so will I, but perhaps there is a way." Thus began the final journey, the quest for immortality. Through mountains of darkness he walked, through deserts and storms. He met the tavern goddess who told him, "Stay, eat, love, that is the fate of men." But he went on, crossing the sea of death, until he found Utnapishtim, the immortal man. Gilgamesh asked, "Tell me how you escaped death." The old man said, "When the great flood came, the gods sought to erase mankind. But the god E warned me to build a ship and preserve life. When the storm ended, the gods granted me eternal life, but that gift was never meant for men. Your portion is to live, not to last forever. Still, Gilgamesh begged. Utnapishtim sighed and said, "Stay awake for 7 days, and immortality will be yours." But exhaustion overcame him, he slept. Even against sleep, the twin of death, he was helpless. Yet the old man pitied him. "In the depths of the sea," he said, "there grows a plant that restores youth. Take it if you can." Gilgamesh dove beneath the waters, seized the plant, and smiled. "I will bring it to my city. My people shall never grow old." But on the journey home, he stopped to bathe in a cool spring. A serpent rose from the water, snatched the plant, and vanished, shedding its skin as it went. Immortality was lost. Only the serpent renewed its life. Gilgamesh returned to Uruk in silence. No longer a conqueror, but a man who had seen truth. He climbed the city walls and looked upon the vastness he had built. "Behold these walls," he said, "they will stand long after I am gone." Man does not live forever, but what he creates endures. And so the story ends, not in triumph, but in understanding. Gilgamesh sought eternal life and found meaning instead. Perhaps no one escapes death, but those who build, who love, who leave something behind. They are never truly lost. Gilgamesh, the first story ever told about death, friendship, and the meaning of being human.